have to be great at one thing. And I think sometimes we just overcomplicate it. You're trying to do all types of things. We're trying to do this, we're trying to do that, or like we're trying to just master, trying to be the jack of all trades and just master everything. When in reality, instead of just focusing on what we're not good at or maybe the negative, we have to focus on what we're actually really, really good at, and we have to continuously be good at it and try to be the very, very best um, version of ourselves in regards to that. So I think that being great at one thing, whatever it is in the business, whether it be if you're great at sales, if you're great at recruiting, if you're great at team building, if you're great at building relationships, whatever it is, you have to focus on it. Don't focus so much on what you can't, what you're not good at, or where you're trying to improve on. You have to focus on the positive. You have to focus on what you're really, really good at, and just stay the course and really pay attention to it and actually go out there and execute it every day to the best of your ability. Instead of like I said, forget the weaknesses, and on top of it too, I feel like this comes with just being positive, having that positivity for yourself, that positive self-affirmation, the positive self-talk. We have to, I think that's really, really key. It's really key in how we talk to ourselves in this business, because obviously we do go through struggles, and we have to make sure that we keep our attitude, because, sometimes customers may be unpleasant, and we have to make sure that we go out there and that we, stay positive with ourselves. Number two, what he said was never complain. I just wanted to ask, let me ask Isaac Ramirez, why do you think he said that we should never complain?
Because what's the use of complaining, man? Like, what's the point of it? There's no progression, there's no improvement, there's no development. It's just whining and nagging. So at that point, you're just bringing yourself down. You're just being that negative energy that you're trying to ultimately avoid. And so at that point, if you realize that you're complaining, like, excuse my French, but cut that shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point. There's no point in complaining. So you just gotta go out there and handle your business.
Oh yeah, I love it, man. And I think just with not complaining, I feel like it's important. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Why are the partners imposing a standard on us? Why is it that they're doing that? Why is it that they're doing this? Why? Like, why are we complaining so much? It's for your own good. It's for your own good. It's for you to make money. Instead of seeing something and complaining about it, look at it as a challenge. Look at it as an opportunity to grow. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. So look at these challenges instead of complaining about it. Roll with the punches. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the struggle. Enjoy the journey. I think we're so focused on getting to whatever we think our end goal is that we don't enjoy the now. We don't enjoy what we're currently in, and you just gotta enjoy the moment. You gotta relish the challenge. You can't be scared to rise up. Sometimes I know stuff happens in the business that may neg us out, but we have to just roll with it and just keep going. You have to look at your current situation in context, and I feel like, well, for myself personally, like my dad, he always helps to put situations for me in context. My dad's not from this country, he's from a different country, so he gives me a different perspective on life. And he basically, the conversations I've had with him, ever since I was a little kid, he's always told me like you have all this opportunity in front of you. And a lot of people who are born in the United States, they don't really realize it. They don't realize it because you're just so conditioned to what's around you that you're not really paying attention to it. But if you grew up in another country and you came over here, then you really realize why it is called the land of opportunity, man. And it's like so amazing. My dad always keeps it in context for me. He's like, yeah, man, like you have all the opportunity in front of me. There's no reason that I should be doing better than you, at my age. Like, you should be doing better than me. So I think you have to keep everything in context at the end of the day. I know sometimes we get so caught up and we're like, oh, like, why is it that certain things are happening, or why is it that, we complain and whatnot. but you have to keep everything in context. Your life, for the most part, is actually pretty good if you really think about it. We get to wake up every morning. We have internet connection. We get to talk to each other every day. We get to go out to we get to go out there on the field. We get to talk to people. Like when we were out of work due to the pandemic, it sucked, man. Like I did not enjoy, not working. It was boring. It was boring. After a while, you're just like aching to go back, and just having the opportunity. We're still in the middle of a pandemic where we're out there, making it happen. We're like freaking warriors out there. What was that movie? Like the movie Hercules. Which one was it? The
300.
yeah, Troy. Yeah, like those. We're like those guys, man. Right before we go into battle, we're just freaking going out there, just trying to conquer the world and whatnot. So we have to think of our situation in context. It's very, very important.
Hey, Danny.
The number three, what he says is just keep going. Just keep going. And let me ask Zento Kobayashi, why do you think it's important that we just keep going?
I think it sort of relates to like pushing through adversity, like even if it's hard sometimes. If you stop, then nothing will ever progress and you won't ever be better. So just keep going, right?
Perfect. That's spot on, man. Travis, do you have anything to chime in?
Yes. So when you're talking about the negativity thing, getting negged out here and there, one thing that came to my mind was in situations where I get a lot of no's, or you start to get one of those negative thoughts pop into your head. One thing that helps me, get back into that positive mindset is thinking of it as this way, like situations in life can be like a bow and arrow, right? Sometimes we have to be pulled back in order to be shot forward. Yes, you may have a few doors that are like, no, rejection, but that's you getting pulled back, right? If you continue to have that positive attitude, follow the 7 successful habits and just keep on, you're going to get that sale. You're going to get shot forward and you're going to close your deals. You know what I mean?
Perfect, man. I love it, man. And that's just, it encapsulates the whole business. Out there we're gonna run into struggles out there that may neg us out, but it's important that we don't give up, man. It's important that we don't give up. We're all taking L's daily. Something happens, we're taking the L. But he really put it clearly. He said, you know what? Winning is easy. Winning is really, really easy. You go out there, you win. You feel good about yourself, you're happy, people pat you on the back, you get high fives, you're pumped up, you're ready to go. But what really tests your true character is when you take a fat L, you roll a donut, you lose a new hire. When you take the L and how you respond to it, I feel like is even more impactful than always winning. Because obviously winning is great, but when we take those L's, that really tests your true character. Are you gonna fold or are you gonna rise to the occasion? It's really as simple as that. And being in the business this long, most people will fold. Literally, they will fold right away. They will crumble like cookies, and that's it. But what's really, really important is that you keep going, and you don't give up. Obviously, we are gonna run into, we're gonna run into adversity on the field, but you got to remember that it's a marathon out there. It's not a sprint. You got to pace yourself. You're gonna run into issues out there, but you got to just keep going and keep that mindset moving forward. On number 4, he says that we have to create value for our customers. I want to just ask Ryan Quinton, how do you create value for your customers out there?
I just identify their pain points and then just try to really emphasize the solutions that I can provide, as far as maybe, faster internet speed, a lower bill, saving on money, provider that I can provide better customer service. If they've been having issues with, I always call in sometimes and no one ever answers. I hate being on hold. I always tell them look, anytime you have any issues, you can contact me directly. We also have our local provider office. So I really just emphasize all the solutions I can provide to any pain points that's really causing them to have some issues.
That's perfect, man. That's perfect. And there's no wonder that you close so many deals, because it totally makes sense. Going out there, you have to realize that we're not out there selling AT&T phone, internet, and DirecTV. What we're really selling is our service. We're selling convenience to the customer. customers don't like calling in, man. And usually when I go out there, I leverage this with my customers. I make them feel good about themselves. I tell them, you know what, Mr. Customer, you're a busy man. You're a business owner. Look at you. You're running back and forth. No wonder you don't have any time to call in. Totally makes sense. But what I'm here today to do is make your life a little bit easier. I'm going to take care of it for you. Don't worry about it. You're selling the service. And I think that when you frame it in that manner, instead of saying, you know, I'm here to lower your bill, I'm here to do this, I'm here to do that. Nah, man, I'm here to just make your life a little bit easier. I'm going to do what I can on my end to provide better customer service, you know, lower your rate and also give you better internet speed. So when you frame it in that manner, instead of just always saying, you know, I'm in there just to sell a certain product, you're not really selling the product. You're selling yourself. You're selling your service. So let's always keep that in context. Number 5, he says that we have to become the persons others want to know. You know, he does say, you know, he didn't really come from an affluent family. So it's, you know, for him, it wasn't really about who he knew because he didn't really know anybody. But I think this goes back to just our mission statement for the company. You know, what this basically translates to me is that you have to be the cornerstone of your family. You have to be the cornerstone of your friend. You got to be that guy who everybody looks to whenever they need anything. You know, it's really important stuff. You know, be the guy that everybody relies on. You know, you have to be that person. If you don't, if, you know, they say it's about who you know, and you're like, you know what, I don't really know too many people, which in reality you kind of do. But if you're telling yourself that, be that person, be that guy, be the dude that everybody relies on, you know. Number 6, he says to just listen to yourself. And let me ask G Money, why do you think it's important to listen to yourself?
Yeah, lots of different reasons. One, it's important to listen to yourself because at the end of the day, I mean, you kind of are the captain of your own ship, you know. And it depends on really how you want to look at it. But there's been times, I'm pretty sure all of us can relate to this. There's been times that you have like a gut feeling, you know, and then you want to listen to yourself in that position, but then you ask for advice, and then the advice is, you know, you take that advice and ultimately your gut feeling was the correct one, you know. So I mean, I found out it's important to listen to yourself, especially if you don't want to like live with regret, you know, because those moments you don't listen to yourself and it backfires, then you're just like, damn, what the hell, I should have listened to myself all along.
Oh yeah, that's perfect, man. You know, listen to your gut. Your gut feeling is most likely always right. You know, listen to your instinct. You know, always you know, relay this back to John Maxwell's law of intuition. You know, basically it's facts based on past experiences, so you have to weigh them out both. For yourself, you know, just go out there and make sure that you're just listening to your, you know, your inner talk, and if your gut's telling you something, most likely it's on point. Number 7, he says to leave our emotions out of it. Let me ask Joseph, why do you think it's important to leave your emotions out of it?
Because emotions, they distort reality. You know what I mean? Like, you're not thinking logically if you think emotionally. You know, I mean, think about people that you sell on the emotional level. You know, it's because they're not. You see that they weren't a logical thinker, so you sold them on emotion. So it's like the opposite of logic.
Yeah, that's perfect, man. And you know, you hit it on the head with that one. You know, it's important that we keep our emotions out of it. You know, like you said, emotions will begin to distort what reality really is. So you have to make sure you keep them in line. It's okay to have emotions, but you have to keep them in line. G Money.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in here and ask a question because, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I myself am a very emotional creature, and I think, you know, it's part of my DNA and genetics. But, like, is there a time where logic and emotions align? Like, is that a possible thing? Because, I mean, for me in my life, and if I'm, like, thinking about the decisions I make, a lot of times I am logical, but there's a lot of emotion into those decisions. You know what I mean? So, like, how do we know when it's like bad emotion? You know, can we define that?
So I feel like you have to weigh it out. Everything is on a case-by-case scenario. You can't always be thinking with your emotions only, but you have to have that perfect balance of both emotion and logic. And you have to keep your emotions in line as well, because if you're getting too emotional about it, then your logic will be distorted. But you also have to have that human element, and you have to make sure that you're not always just thinking just by the numbers, but also, you know, like we say, think with your heart as well. So you have to make sure you keep a nice little balance of it. If you're an emotional person, try to keep it at least 50-50 or at least somewhere along that realm. Number 8, he did say, you know, be able to adapt. And I feel like this is really important, man. The business is ever changing, changes every day. The $100 bill credit is about to end in about a week or so. And I know some reps are getting a little necked out, like, what are we gonna do? The $100 bill credit is running out. But it's like, dude, you have to adapt. That's what it's all about. This business is about adapting. Circumstances change, promotions change, pricing change. If you go work in Southern California and you go to the Bay Area, the pricing changes. But instead of bitching and moaning about, you know, oh, it's non-HCM, it's contracts, dude, just go out there and make it happen. Go adapt to it. Stop freaking complaining. Like, you know, in this business, it's about adapting. Whoever adapts survives. If you don't adapt, you die. Okay, so make sure you actually go out there and you adapt to the changing circumstances, because everything is not always going to stay the same. Things are going to change, and you're going to have to roll with the punches. And then last but not least, my favorite one, he says, you are in control of everything. Okay, he says, love what you do and keep going, which I connect this to can I. So it's continuous and never-ending improvement. Okay, when you become stagnant, when you think you've made it, and you're like, oh, I've reached the top, is when you die, basically. That's, you know, so you always have to be striving to get better. Don't always get complacent about being in a certain position or about making certain money. Always think about, how can I make more money? How can I help more people? How can I grow my business? How can I go out there and serve others? You know, always think with that continuous hunger. You never really reach the finish line. I think we're always too focused on getting to the destination, but we never really reach the destination. If you think about it, it's all in your head. We always think we want to get to a certain point, but once you get to that point, you think about, okay, how do I get to the next level? And once you get to the next level, you keep thinking about, okay, how do I keep growing? It's always continuous growth. You always have to think about it in that mindset. Once you start getting comfortable and stagnant, you're not going to get anywhere. But I think I just want to end with this. You know, he says that you have to be in control of your life, and you have to take control of your life. And I feel like that's really, really important. And he said something that he actually quoted a verse of a poem real quick. I'm just going to read this out to you. This is, I don't know, I was watching this movie on Netflix on Friday. It's Invictus with Morgan Freeman and Matt Damon. It's basically about these rugby players during like the apartheid in South Africa with like Nelson Mandela. And this poem basically is a poem that Nelson Mandela would read when he was in prison for about 27 years. And it's basically about the human spirit and the ability to overcome adversity. So the name of the poem is Invictus. So he says, out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the blagoning of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged the punishments, the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Okay, guys, so let's make sure we go out there, man, and take control of your life. If you want to go out there, make $1,000. If you want to go out there and grow your team, let's go out there and do it. Let's get rid of it.